I'm Nate Hodges with the Pro Football Focus Fantasy Slant. NFL and fantasy football experts love to break down, dissect, and analyze the incoming rookie class this time of year. But those second-year players are much more likely to have an impact on your fantasy football league. In this series, I call them the second-year studs or second-year duds. At the quarterback position, the 2013 class was very, very weak. And in their second year, I don't project it to be much better. Geno Smith and E.J. Manuel are both in run-first offenses, and even when they play well, they're not going to put up the type of statistics you need to carry your team to the fantasy football promised land. Now, the one quarterback from the 2013 class who may have some upside is Mike Glennon in Tampa Bay, but he's currently not the starting quarterback on his own team. If he ever does take over for Josh McCown, he could have some upside throwing to basketball team receivers Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans, along with the enormous tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Of course, you're not going to use a draft pick in a redraft league on Mike Glennon at this stage, but he's a guy you can keep an eye on. At running back, things are very different. There are 6 potential second-year studs at the position. Giovanni Bernard was a player I loved coming out of North Carolina a year ago, and he did not disappoint with the Cincinnati Bengals. He was dynamic in the passing game as we expected him to be, but also showed the lateral quickness and strength to run between the tackles at times. I expect the Bengals to give him a heavy dose, not only in the passing game, but also on the ground. Some owners may be scared away by the fact that they paired him up with Jeremy Hill, the rookie out of LSU. I wouldn't be. New offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson wants to pound the football, and I think Bernard will get enough touches on the ground and through the air to be a second-year stud in 2014. Eddie Lacy had a very solid rookie season for the Green Bay Packers and should be a very good fantasy football player again this season. I would be concerned, or a slight word of warning, don't expect him to take a big jump in production. In fact, the Packers may try and limit his touches to keep him fresh this year. There are other backs in outstanding situations as well. Monty Ball in that Peyton Manning offense. Le'Veon Bell had a nice rookie season, and Zach Stacy did as well. The problem with those backs is they're not really coming at a great value right now if you look at average draft position. The one second-year runner I really like is Andre Ellington. Fantasy football experts all over the place are on the Ellington hype train, but if you're in a casual fantasy league, you might be able to wait a little longer and pick up a great value in Ellington, who could get lots of touches in the desert for the Arizona Cardinals. At wide receiver, Tavon Austin had a horrible year to be the first wide receiver taken in the NFL draft. Even if he has a better season this year, I just don't see how he's going to be a value for your fantasy football squad. He's just too inconsistent. Even if he puts up better numbers, they're not going to be in a week-in, week-out basis that helps your fantasy football team win. A player I do love is second-year man Keenan Allen with the San Diego Chargers. He slipped in the draft due to injury concerns and having to miss the combine, but it was very obvious now that he was plagued by poor quarterback play at the University of Cal, and alongside a revitalized Phillip Rivers, he looks the part of an NFL #1 receiver. I expect Allen to pick up where he left off last year and be a true second-year stud in 2014. Cordarrelle Patterson is a wide receiver much like Austin, who's going to have some big games and going to have some dud games. You're going to have to find out if his draft position in your league is of value, or if it's a reach to take the inconsistent but big-time playmaker Patterson of the Minnesota Vikings. Terrence Williams is a guy who could become a second-year breakout player at wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. He'll be opposite Dez Bryant, which means lots of one-on-one for him, and that Dallas defense is probably going to be poor again, meaning the Cowboys offense will have to throw to come from behind. At tight end, Tyler Eifert and Zach Ertz are similar types of players. They're both athletic pass catchers. Eifert's a little better blocker, but they're both kind of muddled in the depth chart, whether it's Jermaine Gresham in Cincinnati with Eifert or just the plethora of weapons that Chip Kelly has assembled in Philadelphia. Both of these players make nice late upside tight end picks, with Ertz probably having more upside there in Philly in that high octane Chip Kelly offense. He's actually sneaking into the top 12 of expert rankings at Pro Football Focus. So that's a look on the offensive side at your 2014 second-year studs and second-year duds. For Pro Football Focus and the Fantasy Slant, I'm Nate Hodges.